I fixed a chainsaw this week. I felt really good about myself.
I thought you were very manly.
Yeah, Rachel was like perked up. She was
She said, well, that's the threesome I need, you and that chainsaw.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I think Ryobi should maybe start getting to the vibrator business because that battery life is amazing.
Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond, an Is This Good companion pod where I catch up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
America!
Fuck yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Happy Independence Day to all our American listeners. And producing the show, she's red, white, and blue. It's Rachel Doyle.
It's purple, people. Purple.
Does it look blue to you, Matt?
I honestly am so bad with colors.
Yeah.
I think I might be... Can you be partly colorblind?
Maybe. I don't know.
At times, I think Jason is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all our husbands are, am I
Fine.
right? Okay. Like, what do they... How do they get dressed in the dark? Dark, like a navy blue from a black. Can't tell the difference.
Yeah, same.
So I don't know. Maybe it's the blue family. So Rachel, if that's purple, I trust you and I believe you.
In real life, it looks purple, but when I'm looking at the monitor, it looks kind of blue, like a royal blue almost.
Royal blue?
Not royal.
Do you even know?
I don't know the names of colors. That's what it is. It's not that I can't see colors. It's that I don't know the names of colors. Like Jackson bought he has an iPad and he bought a keyboard for it and a cover, and he thought it was purple. And when it arrived, he was like, "Oh, this is black." And I was like, "Yeah, it is black." But then when it was before the sun came up in the morning, and then when the sun shone on it, it was kind of purple. But then I looked at the box and I'm like, "This isn't purple. It's midnight amethyst." So I don't know.
Well, if you told me midnight amethyst, yeah, I would say purple, because amethyst is that crystally purple that's almost translucent, right? And then you add midnight to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
darker.
This thing looked black. It looked black, but
it's got a purple hue.
Yeah, if you look close.
You're familiar with lighting, is it under a tungsten, fluorescent, is it blue? Look, I could cycle through all these settings on my ring light, and my face would change colors. In fact, maybe I should. I feel like I look like shit today. on America's birthday? No, sir.
You look great. You look great over here.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Anything good or not good happened to you this week? First of all, did you celebrate Canada Day at all? I know where it's all about America today, but guess what? No one gave a shit on Monday.
That's right. We worked. We did a show. No Dunks, over on No Dunks. We do a basketball podcast in this room as well.
We did an Is This Good show too.
Oh, we did. That's right.
That.
I do remember that.
Yes, so we were working quite hard on Canada Day.
Working very hard. Yeah, so whatever. It's fine. I mean, it's weird because usually the best Canada Days are the ones that you're not in Canada for. You know,
yes.
Like the best Canada Day I ever had, hands down, was in London.
Oh.
What happened?
Oh, you just go to the it's called the Canadian. It's a pub in Covent Garden. I think it's owned by Molson, or it was back in the day. And all the Canadians would just sort of go there on Canada Day, and they were so much more into it than you would be in Canada. It's very uncharacteristic of people,
Yeah, but that makes total... I mean, it's actually just a more streamlined version of if you go to China, let's say, which I did. I taught English there. You go to a bar and then you see you hear an English-speaking person. Yeah. You're like, that person's my best friend now. Just because it's like, you're surrounded by one thing and then, this lifeline... Maybe I shouldn't put it that way, but it kind of is. Like, if you're tired of, no one understanding you, you're like, that person speaks English, I'm going to go talk to them. Whereas if I went out in Los Angeles, I wouldn't speak to anyone that I didn't already go to the bar with.
Right.
And so this is just like a more streamlined version of like, hey, that guy's wearing a Canadian flag or something like that.
Right.
Now we will celebrate.
Yeah.
And same thing in Atlanta. We were like, because we were a lot of Canadians, let's get together for Canada Day. And then sort of was the same thing when I moved here, but I guess... Am I losing friends? Because no one wanted to do anything on Canada Day.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's weird. We had a good Canada Day here a few years ago. Sloan played at the Canada Fest
That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Was that 10 years
maybe,
ago?
maybe
Yeah, it was
less,
pretty
8.
when we first got here. Yeah. So yeah.
I saw a guy at the Moonlight Swim wearing a Queen and Spadina t-shirt, and I wanted to like give him a hug, and I'm like, settle down. It doesn't mean that he's Canadian or wants to even talk to you. It's just a Queen and Spadina shirt.
Okay, hold on. Moonlight Swim. What are you talking about?
Sorry, not the Moonlight Swim. The swim team banquet. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Moonlight Swim, is that a different color than swim? Or is that...
It's like the background of the show right
cerulean.
now.
You know, one consequence of my parents not buying me that giant box of colored pencils, you know, you would slide open the top, and then that would become the stand, like kind of like a proto iPad case, you know, where you could just flip it backwards and it would stand up on its own.
Yeah.
And they would refuse to buy me that, but I think just by taking those pencils out and looking at them and being like, cerulean blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I was denied that as well as a child.
You guys could have had a different calling.
Like there was a time when like you hear chartreuse and you're like, chartreuse is green? That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Chartreuse, does that sound green to you?
It sounds like lilac or purple or something, like a light purple.
Doesn't it sound kind of French? You should.
Well, yeah.
Well, it is 100% French.
Okay, then
but that's why it sounds sort of more fancy and like JD's saying, like a lilac. That's exactly what I picture too.
Right.
This is a great question. What colors don't sound like the color that they are?
Right.
Like turquoise, perfect encapsulation of what it is, in my
Say that.
opinion.
Turquoise or turquoise?
Well, you got a smart person from Istanbul. He is turquoise.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I gotcha.
Just so I know what you were
person from
saying,
Istanbul.
which way were you saying it?
I'm saying turquoise.
And is that the correct way to say it?
No, I don't. I have no idea. But
Normally that's what I hear.
turquoise.
Yeah, out and about. But, okay, fine. You know what? No one respects growing up an Anglophone in Quebec. No one respects the dumb way I say shit.
I love it. Don't think it sounds dumb. It just is. There's just something very unique. I love it when
You're talking to a woman from Digby, Nova Scotia. She's got some accents and sayings.
Yeah.
Okay, well, turquoise, which I've said my whole life, and no one has ever been upset about
love it.
I'm not upset. I was just like, whoa. I haven't heard that.
This is how we celebrate Canada.
That sounds fancier than turquoise.
Okay, I'm trying to come up with it. What's another color that doesn't sound like?
Oh my god! When faced with the
Opal? What do you think opal is?
Opal is like a deep purple, but I literally have no idea.
No, yeah, that's right. Okay, so I guess that's.
Is that right?
Is that right?
I don't
Isn't
know.
it?
I don't know. I think of like an iridescent white when you say opal.
I don't even know what you mean.
Oh,
by
okay. Well, Rachel,
iridescent.
no. See, that's a great example. Then you're wrong.
Yeah.
I just kicked this fucking. I'm in a different room. Everything's fucked up. They're doing construction outside, so I hopped into here.
Looked like a 6.5 on the Richter scale just then.
Yeah, I know. That was just a 5'5" man's fibula grazing the table.
God damn.
All right. So did anything good or not good happen to you?
Well, I got beat up by my dog. I don't know if for the audio listeners, it looked like American Werewolf in London before.
Oh, holy shit!
Like
show me your cheek. Can you bring your cheek closer to the camera?
Wait, let's see if I
No.
can bring
Oh
it.
yeah,
Go ahead,
Rachel, this is your
do
toughest
it.
test.
Do it. You got it. You got it.
No, you're hesitating,
yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah.
One steady stream.
There we go.
Oh boy.
So you can still sort of make out the claw mark up here,
Yeah.
and then a claw here, and then it was just like when it first happened, it was
And
just
your nose. It was on your nose.
on
too.
my nose as well.
Oh, the one on your cheek looks really bad. Is that
Yeah.
gonna scar?
Well, I hope so, because Jackson was like, "God damn, Dad, you look badass." But yeah, no, it's she just literally punched me in the face while I was lying.
She
on
got
the
me the week before, right across there.
The good one or the bad one?
The good one, yeah.
Oh, no.
They meant the good cheek or the bad cheek.
Imagine
I
if it would
know.
have been the bad one.
He gone. He gone.
No.
So it wasn't, you didn't do anything. You were just literally sitting there.
Well, I was kind of messing around with her, but and then she was like, she was trying to get me out of bed. Actually, like she was like, "Get up, it's time to get up," and then just wham, right on my eye. So that was bad. And then yesterday,
Did you punish her?
No, it was an accident. It wasn't. She didn't mean to.
Okay.
Unless she did, in which I mean, she is a boxer. She's literally a boxer. That's why they call them boxers, I think, because they like to use their paws and.
Is that why they call them boxers?
I don't know,
Because they have boxed ears.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's good.
I don't
good
know.
question.
I don't know anything about colors, and I don't know anything about breeds.
Yeah. Anyway, she bought me in the face, and then on the same side over here, my left side, I got fucking nailed with a pickleball because I was and I wasn't even playing in the game. I was crossing a
didn't even
pickleball
see that.
court, and they had stopped playing, but one of them had like sort of. I don't know if they were practicing a serve or if they were like just launching the ball over to the other side for the, here's the ball back kind of thing. But it nailed me right in the jugular.
What was the level of apology that you got from the person?
Well, I apologized because shout out to Canada.
Happy Canada Day.
It's in the Constitution. I always, whenever I'm playing pickleball, I'll go. I'll say sorry. I always say sorry the first time I fuck up or if something goes wrong, and usually they'll say, "Don't apologize. It's just pickleball." And then I say, "Look, I'm Canadian. I swear a lot, and I say sorry a lot, and and it's just the way it is." So I apologize to them because I was on their court and I was like literally just cutting through. Like I was in their kitchen. That's like next level offense. In pickleball.
Wait, were they actually playing?
They
or
weren't.
Just warming
They weren't.
up?
They were just. I wouldn't have crossed the.
God, I'm like, what an a-hole. They were playing in a game. Like, la-di-da-di-da.
Yeah. I mean, she said sorry, but I was like, hey, man, I was jaywalking here. But anyways, I feel beat up this week. Like.
Yeah.
How about you? You feeling beat up, Matt?
Well, I didn't know you were going to talk about your dog. I didn't know if I was going to talk about it, but we had to put our dog down.
All right,
this
Butch.
week.
Yeah. Older
and,
dog.
Older dog. I mean,
But
he
still.
was 14. We don't really know how old he was. We know he was at least 14.
Yeah.
Frankly, he could have been 15 at this point.
Right.
But it's I never grew up with a pet. My whole life, this is the first pet I had because I moved in with Jill. It's her dog. And never had so much as a bird or a fish or a turtle. So this is really my first experience with a pet and with a pet.
No colored pencils, no pets growing up.
No colored pencils, no pets. We were deprived. And we just called every color
Chartreuse. Turquoise.
Great.
No, yeah, just blue. That was his. Can I get a navy?
Just
no,
the primaries.
just blue.
Yep.
And obviously, I've had the experience many times of someone coming up to me and being like, "Oh, our dog just died," or "Dog got hit by a car," or "We had to put the dog down." And I'm always just like, "Oh, sorry,"
Yeah.
And I mean it, but I've never had access to how actually upsetting it might be, and I guess I wrongly was just like, "Oh, well, it's a dog,"
Right.
I understand that's kind of part of your family, but it's a dog. It's not like a person, so it happened. I'm sure it's sad, and you'll get over it. And now I'm like, oh man, this is. And there's so many different kinds of sad about it.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Part of it is just where is he? Like, I keep like expecting to see, this black pile. He was a all black dog, and he would be, by
No
the
offense, Butch.
by our curled up by the door, or curled up on his little bed, or at night when I give the cats treats, I would give him a treat, then I would give to the cats, and then I'm giving cats treats to the cat, and I'm like looking for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta eat
And
one.
I'm just thinking-
Go, that's for you, Butch.
For him, just up in heaven.
Yep.
Just a milk bone for me. And I think also there's just the sad of you having to make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having to bring him in, and he doesn't know. He's getting in the car. He's like, "Oh, I like being in the car. And then we get to the vet, and I'm sure he's like, the vet. But he was never terrible about going to the vet. And then we get in the room, and he's on the table, but it's like, sorry, buddy, this is the last.
Yeah. It's
awful.
so rough. It's
That's terrible.
It's gutting,
God,
man. It's like you're exactly right. It's like there's a hole in your house, there's a hole in your heart. Like it's just it's such an intimate relationship you have with a dog. It just sneaks up on you, and you just can't. I mean, there's nothing to say except sorry and condolences, and hope next time you're a little more sensitive when somebody comes up to you and says their dog died.
Kind of related to the ghost, show that you did. We have 2 urns from our dogs still that passed before the boys were born on the top of our bookshelf, and Hazel stands on our bed every night and just jumps because she wants something from up there. And there's no ball up there, bitch. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, actually. Like, there's just our 2 dead dogs that we moved to Canada. From Canada, we moved them here, and we just cannot bring ourselves to.
I don't even know what to do with it, really.
What do we bury them? Like, I don't even want to bury them in the backyard because what if we move? It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy
the spirit is with us. It's haunting Hazel like fucking crazy.
Yeah. These dogs have been dead for 18 years, over 18 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of them was still around.
Yeah, that's true.
When Lincoln was little.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've never been through this process, but I was surprised because obviously they come in and they take your fucking credit card first, right? Like, So thanks for being so compassionate. Though I guess whatever, it's probably better than having to do it after when you're in tears.
Yeah.
But she was like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. This is how much it is. Do you have any interest in cremation? And I was like, oh, I guess I should have expected that, but I didn't. And then Joe was like, yes. And I was like, oh, okay, we're doing it. We're going to have the dog somewhere in the house, So, and then she's like, it has a paw print on it. It's very special.
At least it wasn't like, would you like this stuffed and put on your mantle? No, thank you.
Would you like to donate this to JFK Jr.? What the fuck is his name?
RFK? Who are you talking about?
Yes. He just ate. There was a photo of him in Vanity Fair where he may have eaten a dog.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a new one.
Oh.
This is a new one.
Well,
Still, by the way, political sign update in our neighborhood. Still the only political sign the only current political sign in our neighborhood is an RFK sign.
oh, really?
No,
Nobody's come out of the closet.
There's the Joe Biden. The 2020
Yeah,
is
that's not current. That doesn't count.
It says Sharpie says through it 2024.
The 2020 is crossed out. You might have to cross off the Joe Biden part soon, too. Honestly, that would be great signs. Just crossed off and writing whoever else steps up there.
Yeah.
But can I also just say, though, that obviously, like, when you have a dog, it doesn't have a lot of agency, and you are fully responsible for it and making decisions for it.
Yeah.
And it's been really a year, like, since, again, the dog was very old. It was 14, where we've been going to the vet pretty consistently for this problem or that problem. I mean, first of all, the dog was blind. Oh, sorry, the dog was deaf. The dog was almost fully blind.
Yeah.
The dog had a thyroid issue that he was on medication for. He had a degenerative disc that affected his spine. He had arthritis, and then by the end, sort of his back right leg, could barely move. He was pacing constantly. He was panting. He was he had dementia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was confused. He started to get very picky with his food. He couldn't be groomed anymore because he had these lumps on his body, and so anytime a groomer would touch him, he'd kind of like snap. And this is a dog. I swear to God, I never heard this dog bark in the whole time that I knew him. Never heard him bark. Incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
But just was like, he couldn't be poked and prodded anymore.
Right.
And then we were also worried, like, well, if we need a dog walker at some point, like, is he going to be so senile that he's not going to know what's going on? Mm-hmm. And so anyways, all these things, right? So you're like, oh, shit, like, that sounds bad. Like, it does sound like it was time for this dog to go in a dignified manner. Mm-hmm. But yet, every time we went, the vets would be like, well, how do we know? How do we know when it's time? And they're like, well, think about the things that he likes doing, and then think about whether he can still do them.
Yeah.
And to me, the only things that I ever saw him do were sleep, which was most of the time,
Right.
walk, sniff,
Okay.
and eat.
Okay.
And there was never a point where he could, like, now the walking was the one that was most affected. Like, he stopped being able or wanting to walk very much, and especially as it got hotter, he was kind of over it. But he seemed to enjoy sniffing. He
loves
still
to
slept.
sniff.
Now that went away too. At night he started pacing more, I think because of the dementia and probably some discomfort. But you give him a treat, he's still fucking eating the treat.
Yeah.
I gave him a treat on his deathbed, and he still enjoyed it. So like to get to the point where he fully cannot walk and fully cannot eat and can't really sleep, that's like a really advanced, sad place for a dog to be. At that point, then, like, I'm carrying this dog in, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going in on his own steam.
Yeah.
And so I guess part of it is just, I'm like, did we wait too long? Was it the right time? Or because some people would have kept this dog alive, there's absolutely zero question that for some people they would have kept this dog alive. And by the way, I should also say that he was basically allergic, or not, shouldn't say allergic, but he reacted very poorly to every kind of painkiller there was. Like NSAIDs, like things like we take, Tylenol, aspirin, made him vomit and diarrhea. Yeah. And things like gabapentin, which he used to take, which is like basically like a nerve calmer or a nerve killer. Like I took gabapentin when I had my concussion.
Yeah.
He stopped being able to move his legs because I guess he couldn't like feel his nerves in them. Yeah. So like, for instance, he was on gabapentin one night, he shat himself and then fell into the shit and couldn't get up until like we heard him. He didn't even bark. Like we heard it, woke up in the middle of the night and Jill heard him whining. And
that's when you can put me down, Jason. I'll tell you that right. I'll put it in writing. Motherfucker.
Oh, that's good.
Well, Rachel, JG told you shouldn't be eating so many treats.
That's right.
It's medicine for the other pain. Jesus.
You know, like we've had people tell us like, oh, you know, like our mom kept our dog alive. Like the dog was wearing a diaper and she would carry the dog outside.
That's
for shit. And,
fucked up. I'm sorry.
I know. But
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, like, yeah, you did the right thing. And in my opinion, I mean,
I was pregnant at the time both times we put our dogs down, and I might have been hormonally motivated, but you waited a long time.
What do you mean, murderous? No, our dog was having seizures every 4 hours.
Okay, Atlanta PD, if you can, go to their house, do forensic on those ashes. I want to know what happened to that dog.
Oh, yeah. Did I say she stabbed both of them?
Oh, that's why you didn't want to bury the dog, because you didn't want the dog exhumed.
Do you remember when that vet thought I stabbed Cosmo?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Sorry.
With what?
We were at the park, and Cosmo ran into like a water spigot, and it sliced open the skin like at the top of his thigh by his groin.
Yeah.
And I took him to the vet. And she was like, somebody stabbed him. I'm like, nobody stabbed him. I was with him at the park. She's like, nobody stabbed him. Like,
ma'am, step outside the room. I want to talk to the dog alone for a few minutes.
No, nobody stabbed him. It was a water spigot.
Pulls out a giant Clifford the Big Red dog stuffed animal. Where did she touch you on this doll?
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
We got to send this information down to Quantico. We got to get Clarice Starling on it.
No, both dogs being put down. There was a reason, obviously. Yeah. I meant hormonally motivated, as in I felt like it was very important that they were comfortable.
Yeah, you were in a panic for Lennox, like, for sure.
Oh,
he was having seizures every 4 hours.
Yeah, he had brain cancer.
Yeah, it was bad.
But frankly, then it's like, then you can feel really good about putting him down, because then you're like, it's very, very clear he was suffering and in what way he was suffering.
Well, yes and
with
no.
this,
but as you say, like there are some people who would deal with it. Like they would do whatever it took. Like,
Yeah, like
to like medication, chemo. He wasn't old. He wasn't that old. Like he was what, 9 or 10 at the time?
no, he
Or-
was like 8, I think.
Yeah, so he was. I mean, boxers live around 12 years, 12, 13 years. So we probably could have spent thousands of dollars and had the dog suffer through all of the treatment. But at the end of the day, like the vet said to us, like it's just about, and that's what they always say to you, right? Like they're like, it's your decision. Like I'm not going to make the decision for you. Like I've never heard of a vet saying, yeah, you should definitely put this dog down. Like
No, they don't. I mean,
they
I
won't.
don't know. We saw a lot of vets, like not because we were like looking for second opinions. This time we saw one vet, but I just mean like we didn't have a specific vet when we moved here. We would try one place, didn't like them, would go to another, and then finally settled on this place we like. But everyone, some people seem to have, just reading between the lines, differing levels of concern for him and being like I swear, like even a year ago we went to a vet, not about a specific, like, should we put him down at all? Just like he was having an issue.
Yeah.
And they were like, how, like asking questions, being like, seemingly to me being like, you could put this dog down if you want.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, if this guy's giving you trouble, you
Come to me.
We'll take care of it right
My
now.
dad took care of our dogs being put down himself in the backyard with a shotgun.
well,
That's how you do it in
not- Was he
rural.
inside the house or outside the house?
He would put the dog outside the house and go inside the house and shoot him from the window. But
You know when you really need a haircut, and then you're like waiting and waiting, and then you call the guy and the guy's busy, and finally you get the appointment like 2 weeks later than you want, and you're fucking every day you're struggling with your hair, but the morning of the appointment you'll wake up and you'll get ready and you'll go, God damn it, if my hair doesn't look amazing right now. And that's kind of like true with the dog too. It's like you make a mental catalog of all these problems, and you're like, he's probably in pain. I mean, and then but there will be moments of lucidity and moments where it's like, sure, he's not great and he walks real crooked, but he can still walk. Mm-hmm. So, it's just, it's not as black and white as you would
No.
like it to be.
No.
By the way, black and white, two great colors. They're exactly what they should be.
exactly right.
Anyways, been crying all week, but I can sort of feel day by day that it, like, the shock of it. And I mean the shock of, like, walking out of the bedroom in the morning and him not being there is lessening a bit. But
Do you guys think, like, you're, like, the type to be like, need a replacement dog immediately?
No, absolutely not. I don't.
I don't know. Some people do that.
Yeah, I know.
Just cycle through the same breed, bring it in next week.
No. We're not we got to have a kid to save the marriage.
Right.
But, the other thing is, I think, in a weird way, this has been Jill's dog for 14 years, and I feel like there was so much good times that she had with him that it's mostly good times, and then at the end, bad times, and so she could be very grateful for that. I only came in at the end, and I was really only here for the decline.
Yeah.
And I think there's something, well, not to say it's worse for me in any way. I just feel like I don't even really have the good times to look back on. It's just basically coming in and seeing a thing that I care about and that my girlfriend cares about just deteriorate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough. It's very tough to watch.
It's
And
the
very
worst
tough to
part.
do.
It's the worst part of having a pet, an animal. I'll say it, especially a dog and a cat, I guess. I've never had a cat, but yeah, it's like you came in at the absolute worst part. Like when they're
hospice
puppies, they're great, and then throughout their adulthood, it's just great, and then you just come in for the palliative part, and it's just like,
Yes, exactly.
God damn
Like
it.
I feel like like a nurse or something.
Yeah. Like a nurse that got too close.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even get put in the will.
So what?
He was like, those plasticky dino treats that are supposed to clean my teeth that you gave me and I fucking hated because I couldn't get through them. You can have those.
yeah.
Asshole.
Yummy.
I said, no, I have a toothbrush, so I'm okay. Anyway, there was a neighbor I had that their dog had died, and I was walking past, and it somehow came up, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And they were like, yeah, well, he had 10 good years and 1 bad day. And I was like, well, that's a nice way to put it, but sorry, if he had 10 good years and then ran to the street and got run over by a car and it was over like that, fine.
Yeah.
But that's not my experience. It was a bad year.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was, tough to watch. Let's get to the comedy.
Okay.
Do it, babes. What do you want to talk about?
Rachel wanted to talk about threesomes for some reason.
Okay. All right, Rachel, go ahead. See if you can put a smile on my face.
Well, I was just reminded. I was talking to a friend about threesomes, and I was just wondering if you've ever been involved in one.
Oh, my dear Lord. Oh, my dear Lord.
And
I need my sweat rag, Rachel. I need to dab my head like a sweaty Southern prosecutor.
I do declare.
Why were you talking to your friend about it?
I don't know, actually. The things you talk about.
Okay. No, my answer is no. It's really sad.
Is that okay? So it is something you regret.
sad.
Why isn't it not regret?
Not ever doing before you.
To
Still
regret it, do I need there to have been a time where someone was like, "Hey, we want to have a threesome with you," and I said no?
Or you never made that opportunity for yourself.
Oh, come on. Made that opportunity
for myself.
I tried to.
Yeah.
Do you regret not being a billionaire? Oh yeah, there's a time when someone offered me $1 billion. I said no. Or are you just saying you never put yourself in a position to be a billionaire?
I put myself in the position and was rejected. So I guess I have no regrets. I tried.
And what position is that? Face down, ass up?
Basically. Here's a question though, Matt.
Wait, you've never had a threesome, Rachel?
No, I tried to. When my parents were away, I had a huge party at my house, and I had brought these.
Norma, turn off the pod right now.
They've done worse things.
Brought these 2 guys into the same room, and they didn't realize it because it was dark. And I was trying to make things happen, and then they realized.
Wait, so hold on. They weren't aware of each other?
No.
How?
Well, one
was a ghost.
Was this fucking... Was this Three's Company? Did Norman Lear write this episode?
Right?
It kind of felt like it. I think, if I do recall, one of them was already in there because everyone was fucking shit-faced. And I knew that. And then I brought the other guy in, and I got in, and I was in between them and started trying to make things happen. And then they were like, what the fuck? And they both got so mad and left. So
no. Well, now...
It's disappointing.
I think your problem is that... Because you just said threesome, is that you were pushing for an MMF.
Yeah.
When really, if you really wanted to make it happen, you needed to go FFM.
But that's not what I wanted at the time.
Right. Well,
so
that's...
I feel like you could have so easily gone FFM at some point in your life. You really... Like, it's way harder for a man that doesn't want to go MMF to go MFF.
Yeah.
But if you're the woman... I mean, you're kind of... You're taking off the main pain point, which is wanting to hook up with another woman and finding the woman.
I feel like if it's an MMF, I'm doing a lot less work.
If it's an MMF, I don't think that's right. In fact,
no. Is this just lazy thoughts?
I don't think you're not thinking through the multitasking part of this equation.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you've gone FF. You've already done the hard part.
Multiple times, yes.
Right. Why not just tack on an M? You almost have to try not to. Now, if you're an F that only goes FF, otherwise known as a lesbian, then I can understand not wanting the M involved. But if you're an FF that's already gone FM.
Well,
see?
I guess that opportunity did arise in high school, but the guy was very much wanting me and the girl I was with at the time to do that.
Oh, really?
But
This guy's fucking crazy.
What the hell?
But nobody knew about us, and it was very not okay in that, like, the early 90s in a small town.
No one knew about you and
To
the
have
other
a threesome
girl.
or to be gay?
Well, to be having, like, a girlfriend. So it was very under the, So I was like,
Under the
I'm not
hood.
doing that. I don't want it to get out,
Right.
but maybe.
Well,
I
it's
doubt
on
it'd
the
keep a
internet
fucking
now.
Who fucking cares?
All right, JD. I guess this is your time to brag. Have you ever had a threesome?
No, of course not.
Oh.
You haven't?
No, God. What are you, crazy?
Well, why do you say that?
It's too much work. Like, I'm not a threesome guy. I'm just not. Like, it's just too much. Like,
He's lazy too.
So then, do you think
I know
a threesome?
sorry, go
Well,
ahead.
would you rather go MF?
MF? No.
Just, like, beside
No.
each other?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that before. Not.
Oh, you had a foursome.
Yeah, foursome.
The three.
Foursome's easy.
Well, you're not really interacting. You're just having sex in the same room.
You gotta learn to
count?
crawl before you learn to walk. Not me. I went straight to sprinting.
And yeah.
Oh, gangbang! Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were asking. Oh, yeah, of course.
Fuck it up. Yeah, no, I've never had a threesome. I'm not that interested, to be honest. And I know dudes who have, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Like, it's just like a lot of work. A lot of pleasuring is going on. You know what I mean?
No, or not though. Or there could be some. Then you could stop. Then
Water
it's
break.
like kind of it's like how you ask someone, or like you ask the No Dunks guys, like, what was the secret in the early years? You were doing this show, you had this job, and then you'd wake up early and record the show. Then you'd have another job. What was the secret? And the answer is always, we never all wanted to quit at the same time. There's
Right.
only one of us that wanted to quit at once.
That's
so
right.
in this threesome situation. Maybe you start, then one person's like, all right, I'm out. They go
Yeah.
get a sandwich, come back,
Sure.
boom, you tap in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you're you're thinking it's more work than it might be.
Yeah, I guess I'm not factoring in the FF part being into each other. That's the thing that I sort of, you know what I mean?
How am I going to give
that's
cunnilingus to two women at the same time?
Well, there's a way to do it, but I don't know. I would just feel way too responsible for everybody. It would be like a harried host at a party. It's just like, can I get you anything else? Can I get you what? I'm too much of a generous lover. That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Well, this brings up the question I've always had about thruples, because polygamy now, talk about being gay, Rachel, like polygamy is everywhere now.
Yeah.
It's I feel bad that I'm not in a polycule.
Polycule. Is that a term? I like it. It's
Yes,
not-
it is.
oh.
But here's my question. If you are one of these couples that is three people, whether it's MMF or MFM or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever combination of those letters, you sleep in one bed. How does the middle person get up to pee?
Oh, you couldn't
a great
handle
point.
that. It would be very hot
a great
being the
point.
person in the middle.
The person on the left rolls out to the left. The person to the right rolls out to the right. The person in the middle, you have to crab walk to the edge of the bed?
Yep.
You're waking two people up.
They're not
That's what
sharing
I'm
a
saying.
bed. That's
You think?
Yes, they are. Some of these people.
maybe just for sex, not for comfort and actual
So
sleep.
then what? So then,
There's another bedroom.
I mean, sure, sometimes, but I do think that some people are sharing the bed. King size bed is huge.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
big enough.
Not that big.
All right. Well,
Got a couple of dogs in there too. Not enough room.
that's why I'm not in a throuple. Pee too much.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a great point. It's a very great point. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, so wait, did you say why you were talking about this in the first place, or does that not matter?
I don't even remember, but when I mourned my inability to get that MMF going, she's like, yeah, well, one of my friends had it. She said the best thing that ever happened to her in her entire life. I'm like,
Great. Why did you tell me
Damn.
that? Hold on a second. None of us have ever had a threesome. There's three people on this phone call right now.
you can't do it over the fucking internet, Matt. Move to Atlanta.
No, that's not a thing. That's
Okay,
going
if
to
I
happen.
move back to Atlanta, we have to at least discuss it for the content.
For the content.
For the content.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not saying we should. We should really think about it from all angles. Though, think
Different
about
camera angles?
the publicity. Oh yeah, great. That's great. Yeah, we can film it. Ash, we need you to come in. No reason. And if we were the first podcast to break up because of a threesome, you think the Pod Save America guys are doing it together? Maybe.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's possible.
Yes.
It's possible.
Very possible. So we could break a lot of ground here. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Just think about it. Just think about it.
Do you want to weigh in on that Reddit thing that was posted in Discord?
Not really.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, go ahead.
Did you
I'm not
actually?
even sure I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're,
Jormar? Is that his name? Jormer?
Yeah, that's a
the
guy.
P Hounds threw it up on Discord.
Yeah, I think it was Jormer. Is this good? 2 straight guys getting married platonically, but I did a little digging, and the person who posted it is definitely not straight. So,
Sorry, what do you mean platonically? Like
they're
two
best friends.
getting
Like
married?
the conceit was, we're 2 best buds. We've been known each other since middle school, and we're just decided to get married. Ask
For what
me
purpose?
anything.
Like for legal purposes?
For-
Like
well,
tax
they-
purposes or something?
Financial slash medical, I guess. So they're in the States, so maybe it's a benefits thing for one of them. But it doesn't. I dug into
you're
it
not
a little
married.
bit.
I mean, you are getting married, but you're essentially asking, is it worth it for 2 people to pretend to be married so that they can get health benefits?
Right.
It's not
Sounds like
really
it
a
might be.
marriage question.
But this guy is saying that they love each other and they're soulmates. They're just not sexually attracted to each other because they're straight. But they're not straight because
Oh, but asexual people get married.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you dig into it and the guy has low testosterone. He's taking supplements for low T. And that would explain why he's not particularly wanting to have sex anytime.
Right. Well, then the other guy's when he starts getting his testosterone treatment.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God, all of a sudden.
Watch out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you may find yourself needing to perform those husbandly duties. But
Nice warm hand. Come on.
anyway,
It's not just for holding. It's not just for holding.
It's not that I don't think that the people could be asexual and love each other and want to get married. I think that's totally fine. This sounded not that to me. But whatever. I don't know. A mazel tov to them is what I say. Go for it.
What I say to them is I now pronounce them Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, exactly.
Those do sound like pretty straight names.
I mean, they said in part of one of the questions was answers like, we tried to fool around once, but it didn't. It did. I mean, and any straight guy is like, well, then you're not entirely straight. If you and your best friend decided to make out and give it a go.
What if they did it as a laugh?
Well, I guess that's
Like
Wouldn't
a
it be
circle
so
jerk.
funny if we hooked up?
yeah, hilarious. Yeah. So, anyways, whatever. Again, mazel tov.
Mazel tov
You
to
do
them.
you.
I was gonna say, since it is America's birthday, I'd like to maybe say something in defense of America, and that really goes against the former colonial power that was once occupying this proud country of
Right.
ours,
Yeah.
the British.
Yes.
And I want to say that we should have no roundabouts in this country.
Is this tornado related?
No, I don't even. Why? What do you mean?
What?
I just saw a meme of somebody calling into some show or something, or a complaint line about how whatever state he was in, there weren't tornadoes until roundabouts started getting installed in there. And his logic was that the cars going around in circles was disrupting the airflow of that particular state. So we were
Okay, I take it back. I have nothing else to say about this country.
Jesus.
Okay, well, sorry. Okay, go ahead with the bar.
I'll tell
Okay,
you my
I could do
reasoning.
20 minutes on roundabouts in this country.
Okay, I'll tell you my reasoning. Oh, so you know what roundabouts are and how they work, then, right?
I know exactly how they work, but
No,
nobody
I don't
in
think you
this-
do.
Nobody
I don't think
else
you do.
does.
That's the thing. I don't think you do. I think you say you do, because how complicated could it be?
Right.
There's one roundabout in this city, and it's near my house.
Okay.
It's at least the only one I've seen. It's semi big roundabout, and it's near a big interchange, near a highway.
Mm-hmm.
And my problem is not with roundabouts. If you're from a roundabout country, then roundabout. You want to call them a Rotary? I am not here to judge.
Okay.
We've all been to the Arc de Triomphe and seen that giant roundabout, and I say good for you, France. Obviously, very quintessentially British thing. They could put their little gardens in the middle of it. Good for them.
Yeah.
Italy, you want to do a roundabout? Fine. But
Yeah.
you can't have no roundabouts and then one roundabout
Right.
because no one knows how to use the roundabout. And I don't blame them because why should they? We're not a roundabout country.
But
We're a direct country.
you know what they do, though? They put up the one sign that is required in a roundabout, and that is a yield sign. So if you're telling me that they don't know how to use a roundabout, it's because they don't know what a yield sign means, because that's
okay.
what you do.
Okay. Then I'm going to give you, can I give you, I don't know how to do this in terms of a quiz. Because I should say, studies say that roundabouts are safer, and I agree.
Sure.
I believe them.
Yeah.
Because it cuts out like the worst types of crashes, right? Like right angle, head-on collision crashes.
Yeah.
Because it's a circle.
Yeah.
But the actual rules of it, I don't think you know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to read
I mean,
you the
that's
rules. Just be
possible.
honest if you know them.
Okay.
Only enter the roundabout in the outer lane, because in this one there's two lanes. There's an
Okay.
inner ring and an outer ring.
Yeah.
Only enter the roundabout in the outer lane if what?
It's safe to enter.
You're hearing a lot of silence because this guy doesn't know how roundabouts.
I'm just trying to is there a trick here? Like
No.
Feels like
if
a trick question.
if there isn't a car there.
No. Only enter the roundabout in the outer lane if you are leaving at the very next exit. Otherwise, go into the middle lane.
Right. Yeah.
So otherwise, you enter the inner lane and merge into the outer lane once you have passed the exit previous to the one you want to leave at.
Right.
If everyone is driving correctly, that lane should now be empty because any traffic that was in it will have already left at their exit. But that's not what happens because no one knows because we're not a roundabout country. So I actually think it's way less safe because people in the inner lane are like, shit, I got to get out, but there's a car there.
Right.
So it's actually creating more possibilities for accidents. Passing an exit in the outer lane is unacceptable and considered dangerous driving. But again, people don't know that. So be a roundabout country or not.
Okay.
But no roundabouts, but except for one.
Our roundabouts here, I think we only have one I've only seen one that has more than one lane. And people can't use the ones that are only one lane. So, yeah, they're going to need some instructions on a 2-lane roundabout.
Yeah.
Well,
That's fair.
but where are we getting them?
Well, presumably when you take your driving test, when you take the written portion.
They're going to train you on the one roundabout that's in the city?
They don't even know how to
they
Like,
should.
we got to go to Riverside and San Fernando.
So the roundabout in LA is a 2-laner.
It's a 2-laner.
Oh, interesting.
What is it, a university in New Orleans? Because it's a 2-laner.
I drove I drove in England and I drove in Australia. I drove in Melbourne a lot, and there's a lot of roundabouts, and it's just, I don't know. It's very intuitive, you know.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, like you said, like the only rule is yield to the cars that are already in the roundabout, and I thought that was it. But I was kind of like, I started looking this up because I was confused. Like, do all roundabouts have more than one lane? And if so, how do you actually deal with this problem of needing to exit, but there's a car in the lane
Right.
before you can exit?
Yeah.
Right? So then I looked it up and I was like, oh, well, this makes sense, but it's just not, that part is not intuitive, I wouldn't say.
So have you been stuck in the inside lane of this roundabout, like going around and around?
Yeah, and I went around until a tornado.
Wow. Fucking knew it. I knew it.
It's your fault.
It's like there's for instance, driving in Europe, right? Like in England, let's say, you're driving on the left side,
Yes.
right? Yeah, we're driving on the right side here.
Yes.
Right, yes. But like in law school, we learned about this thing called a coordination problem, which is basically like it doesn't matter what the rule is. All that matters is that we all agree to the rule.
Right.
So driving on the right side is no better than driving on the left side.
Right.
But the only important thing is we all agree we're all driving on the right or we're all driving on the left. Because
Right.
it's a mix, then that's the problem. And I see no coordination in the Rotary. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
That's all I'm saying.
if roundabouts are safer, I say I'm pro, and let's just learn how to use it. It's like the fucking metric system, which we never did here. But the metric system is easier. It's way easier.
Tougher driver tests.
It's easier, and yet everyone still says their weight in pounds and their height in inches.
You're
their
right.
feet in inches.
You're right.
America has stayed strong. We've existed the woke Rotary for so long that leftist, communist, socialist, European bullshit, like their tiny cars, their little Peugeots, and they've got manual steering. Okay, we left that behind.
Yeah. Well,
There's no need for us to start adopting it now. We've come so far already.
Yeah,
Let us keep T-boning each other at intersections.
I guess. You know what's funny? Our pool that we go to here in the neighborhood was built in like 1971. Or ish. Whenever they thought they were changing to the metric system, so it's like the one pool in Atlanta that's actually 25 meters, not 25 yards. So, hey man, respect. Shout out to Pangborn.
Well, on the 4th of July, I don't want to see anyone taking a Rotary. Okay, you go, you detour. They should close it down. There's a sign in front that says closed for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then they should just light fireworks in it all day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, some quick housekeeping. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/isthisgood. You'll get ad-free episodes. You'll get access to our thriving community on Discord. You'll get an exclusive episode every month, which is coming out next week. And you can submit questions to us on the Discord. And I'm going to ask a question that someone submitted on the Discord in a second.
Okay.
Right after I say that you could send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. That's where you could see JD's confused face as he tries to figure out how a roundabout works. All right, Bry Guy asked, okay, well, whatever. This is his question. Is there anything better than Chinese food when you're super baked or drunk? You know, so he could have asked, "What is the best food to eat when you're baked or drunk?" But he's trying to incept me by saying, "Is there anything better than Chinese food?" But I take him at his word here, and I ask you: is there anything better than Chinese food when you're baked or drunk?
If there is, I can't think of one.
Oh, so you agree?
I agree, and part of it is, you know, I grew up in Toronto, and we would go out, for the night sort of thing, and after last call, which was 2 a.m., we would inevitably end up in Chinatown, and you know, the party would continue, and the food was fucking delicious, and we would get what was called cold tea, and I'm sure, I don't know if they still do this, they probably do, but it's basically a can of Labatt Blue cracked open and put into a teapot.
The classic white Chinese teapot
Yeah.
that they put in the middle of every table. Whether, you know, you don't order it, it's just there.
Yeah, which was somehow ridiculously ice cold, and I don't know if it's the MSG, I don't know if it's just like the curry and those Singapore noodles, but goddamn, it hits. It hits.
The salt and sweet and grease.
It's an incredible. And there's just the environment and the party still going, and the cheeky little cold tea. That part of it.
But that's see, he's saying baked / drunk, but like maybe we need to separate them, because your drunk meals, you're tending to eat out, right?
Yeah.
Like the bar closes, you're stopping by the taco truck.
Yeah.
You're getting a slice of pizza. You're going to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So atmosphere, vibe, the fact that Chinese food is plentiful, it's family style, it's abundant, it's on a lazy Susan
It's all
that's fun
part
to
of it.
spin around. That has a difference, right? Whereas stone food, I think is more at home food, or at least it is for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So therefore, so you're losing the party atmosphere of the Chinese food.
Right.
You're losing a bit of the heat, like, right, if it's being delivered or something like that.
Yeah.
So for me, no, I wouldn't say. I mean, drunk Chinese food is up there, but I don't know. For me, still pizza. Look, when you're drunk, to me, it's a volume game. Like, you're just like, man want food, man will eat as much food as possible.
Yeah.
Stoned, you're more like a scientist working at like Frito-Lay or something.
Right.
Like, what would happen if we put a giant Cheez-It into a, Taco Bell Crunch Wrap or something?
Sure. Yeah.
Like your mind's, you're beautiful minding it on the window, like
Yes.
writing out.
What's our man Skeets' high? It's a graham cracker, a piece of camembert or brie.
Yeah, no, brie,
And
I
a
think,
ketchup
and like a
chip?
ketchup chip
Yeah,
or
on
something like
top.
that. But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like you start brainstorming like,
Wow.
okay, I need the sweet element, I need the salty element, I
Yeah.
need the umami, I need, like, you're taking more things into account. That being said, once you start, like, I feel like stoned eating starts refined,
Yeah.
and then once you get the taste of anything in your mouth, it's just then
Yeah.
it becomes volume too, and then
Right.
you're just like, but then I would say drunk food you could argue is helpful, right? Like,
Yes.
soaking up some of the booze and
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I mean, honestly, I know.
Yeah, I do think
Really,
it
you
is.
think you feel
I
better
mean,
in the
it's
morning?
probably taking some of the pressure off your liver,
I suppose. I don't know.
some
Well-
of the poison.
But then also, like, you wake up from a big night of drinking, you're hungover, boom, that's another disgusting eating opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
that's
'Cause
true.
you want carbs, you want grease, you want hash browns, all that bacon, all that
Yeah,
shit, right?
yeah.
So it's almost like being drunk eating is like almost two different kinds of eatings.
Right.
And I've woken up hungover and gone like, Jesus, thank God we had those peanut butter noodles or something
Right.
last night.
Yeah.
I never woke up after being stoned and been like, wow, thank God. Thank God I ate that entire family-sized bag of peanut M&Ms.
That's right.
And you wake up after eating a lot stoned, you're going like, oh, my stomach hurts. Like, I'm done with food. I think I ate enough food.
Right.
You wake up after eating a shit ton drunk, you're like, give me more food.
Right.
So
true.
they're really... Bry Guide. Did I even say Bry Guide?
Yeah, you said
The person
Bry
that wrote
Guide.
this question?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think that you can say baked/drunk. I think you have to tackle these differently.
Okay.
Because
all
I think
right.
they're different answers.
Yeah. I'm
So
with you.
I don't know. I'll still say pizza. I'll say pizza for drunk.
Pizza, I don't know. Like, I was very. Rachel sort of mentioned this today, and I was like, pizza doesn't even crack the top 20 of foods for me. But
What?
Then I remembered every time I'm in Vegas and we go to Secret Pizza, which is
Oh,
New
hell
York
yeah.
style pizza.
Oh hell yeah!
Like, and you do it almost in secret because I've been to that place more often by myself than with other people, like literally staggering through the casino, finding it, standing in line by myself for 20 minutes. Well, you get like a solo cup full of red wine out of a box and the most
Yeah.
delicious pizza you've ever had. Like,
Red
maybe
wine.
not
That
ever,
brings
but
up another question: is it that delicious,
I don't know.
or is it the drunkenness? You know what I mean?
It's good. It's definitely good. Like it's definitely hits that sort of New York style pizza that it's my favorite kind of pizza. But yeah,
And because they hide it and there's no sign and you're drunk, like
Yeah.
you're stumbling around trying to find it, and then you find you're like,
You're like thank God.
it's like fucking Indiana Jones finding the Grail or something.
An oasis in the desert.
Exactly.
Literally
right.
in the desert.
All right, Jay, did you have anything else?
I fixed a chainsaw this week. I felt really good about myself.
I thought you were
Okay.
very manly.
Yeah, and Rachel was like perked up. She was
She said, "Well, that's the threesome I need. You and that chainsaw."
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I think Ryobi should maybe start getting to the vibrator business because that battery life is amazing.
Well, wasn't that what the Hitachi started as? Like it was like a back massager, the thing that's like.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And then I think a woman one day just did the math on that and told all her friends. It's like how there's that Avon spray, like the door-to-door Avon sales lady. People realized that one of those sprays was really good as mosquito repellent.
Yeah. Skin's so
And then,
soft.
the Whisper Network goes to work.
Yep, exactly.
And
Okay,
that's how. But that's a Ryobi could easily.
Yeah.
Oh, for
There's no
sure.
way that it should be collabs. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a woman's vibrator brand name.
Me neither.
Yeah, I need a
Can
new
you Google
one.
one for me, Rachel?
I am in the market.
I could open the door and yell out, Jill!
market.
Jill's
I'm
in the middle of a
market.
meeting. Jill, what's the name of a vibrator company? Anyways, like, let's say one's called, like, For Her.
One's called 40 volt. 40 volt will do.
FHP. Anyways, it should be FHP X Ryobi. That's right. It's like, this shit's so good, it could burrow into concrete.
Right. Like,
It could put your husband on the doorstep.
And then like the next brand, like Dirty Sally X Makita. Is that the name of it?
yeah, it is. Yeah. Old Milwaukee. Wait a minute. That's not, no, just straight up Milwaukee, right? That's a tool.
Yeah, no.
maker.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want old anywhere near your dildo branding, I don't think.
Old.
See, I thought I was a real beta male, but I know more names of power tools than I do of women's vibrators. So,
Wow. Anyway, fixed a chainsaw. Felt good about it.
happy 4th of July.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jenny. Well, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud
Thank
of
you.
us. And let's all have a good holiday. Coming up on Monday, though, Wes Larson is going to be on the show.
Ooh.
Now, I hesitate to say too much. Well, I'll tell you this. This guy is a bear expert. You're like, what? Why would you have a bear expert on, right? He's a scientist.
Because it's Pride Month.
Yes,
Oh, no,
Queen.
hold on.
Yes,
that kind of
Queen.
bear.
No, it's not anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it's not anymore. Not that kind of bear. This guy has tackled a bear.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to tell you that.
Straight up tackled
Straight
a
up
bear.
jumped on a bear. Mm-hmm. Okay? And he's had a lot of other viral encounters with wildlife. I'll just say that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say wild encounters. Because that would have been
They
accurate.
are wild encounters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were
So-
viral.
And they were viral. Anyways, well, whatever. We've recorded it already, and it's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
It's so
Just
good.
because it's so sort of weird and out there, and questions I wouldn't be able to ask anyone else. I finally got to ask someone, how come on Alone, the TV show, when they see like a fucking giant grizzly bear coming after them, they just go, "Oh, hey bear, hey bear, oh hey bear, just I'm here, I'm over here, bear. Okay, hey bear, just so you know." I'm like, why does the words that come out of them, "Hey bear," and not like, "Ah!"
Yeah. He had an answer, too.
I'll fucking kill you, bear. Well, he gave us an answer. So listen on Monday for that. Email us, isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe everywhere. Leave a review. Happy Canada Day belatedly. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're listening to this. I hope you're not like, I hope this didn't come through the podcast feed and you didn't go, why are they releasing an episode on the 4th of July? No one does that. It's a day off. It's crazy. I'm
for us.
barbecuing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you're not doing today. You're not watching Joey Jaws Chestnut and my man Kobayashi go at it in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest because Kobayashi's been out for a while. We've known that. We thought he might retire. But now Joey Jaws Chestnut, he's doing an ad for Impossible hot dogs, a meat substitute, and Nathan's is saying, he's out of here. We don't even want him anymore.
Well, and
Now-
rightly so. I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
Nathan's, of course. Get out of here.
Now Joey Jaws and Kobayashi are squaring off. Not till September, though, right? So we got time to set up this match. Netflix, hit us up, by the way. If you want to sponsor us, like sponsor this this event you're throwing. Because it's a live event.
Yeah.
You need promo for it. We know Kobayashi very well. Obviously, we're in Kobayashi's
Very
corner.
well, yes.
Obviously, when that comes up, I will be posting the picture of me doing karaoke with Kobayashi.
As you should.
I will say in the caption, he tried to eat the microphone, as I say every time.
What are they eating hot dogs? Do we know? Like, is this?
Yeah, they're eating hot dogs.
Oh, okay. Impossible hot dogs or just hot dogs?
No.
Straight up.
Red-blooded American.
Straight up hot dogs.
Pig dogs. I saw someone on Twitter say, what if instead the Nathan's hot dog eating contest was just seeing who could eat one hot dog the best?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
with some flair to it, some pageantry.
Just holding it. I can't do camera work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daintily,
Hey,
without getting any on you, like any
Yeah.
Chicago style stuff on you. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's...
or you go for flair and you just go whomp like a chomp, like one, you throw the whole thing in. Maybe you throw up the dog, then you throw up the bun, you squirt ketchup and mustard on it in the air, the dog lands in the bun. I'm just saying there's creative ways to do it.
I love it.
But again, you're not watching that because without the star power, you're just watching some gluttons. And who needs that? So save... Don't blow your load on the Nathans. That's all I'm saying. Save it for September, whatever, when Kobayashi and Joey Jaws.
You think people are going to be too full on hot dog eating competitions if they indulge on the July 4th, and they'll still be full in September? That's what you're saying.
Do you think a performance enhancing drugs talking about weed? Do you think they test them for weed?
Wow.
Because you could eat more if you're stoned.
Interesting.
And you could eat faster without knowing how disgusting what you were doing if you were drunk.
Yeah, I mean, God. Yeah.
Or maybe you'd puke faster if you had alcohol.
I think that you it's a detriment actually. If you are high on weed and you have a plate of hot dogs in front, I'm like savoring every bite of every hot dog. You don't even
know you're in a competition. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
I dreamed someone would lay out 40 hot dogs in front of me, and some nice person did.
Exactly right. Yeah.
All right. Stay American, America. Yeah. Stick to your hot dog eating contest. Stick to your red lights. We don't want Europe encroaching upon us. We're not even so many roundabouts in Canada, we're a British colony.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think they're coming in though, slowly but surely.
There's lots in Nova Scotia.
Watch out, people! Stay vigilant. Because they put a Rotary, and then the next thing you know, you're not paying anything for healthcare, and we don't want that. We got to protect the hospitals and the insurance companies. Okay, the true patriots in this country. This was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.
Bye.